Hello everyone, my name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian fishing for float fishing journey. You caught me right as I was trying to get all my rods cast out and saw a bite, so we did catch some quick sleeper there. The goal right now, there is a bleak order that I wanted to go after, so that's really what I'm fishing for here. Between episodes, I did work on bait harvesting a little bit. I bought some more potatoes here at Winding, chopped them up. So we got our bait harvesting up to, I believe, 19.3. So we're pretty close to the goal of getting to 20% before getting to level 12. And then I also bought a bunch of bloodworms just because we will be using bloodworms. We were completely out. So I bought 300 bloodworms for 17 silver as well too. So we are below buying the second starter plus float rod, which right now I'm okay with. We'll definitely make that money back here pretty soon. And even with this bleak order, if we can get it, it's a little bit late in the day to be going after bleak. There was a rough order as well too. So that's kind of my thought process here is let's get the bleak order, let's get the rough order, and let's see if we can get there. So nice little sleeper there. We need 5 bleak, and it is 6 p.m. So be a little bit of a struggle to do it, but it's worth a shot. And as you can tell, I haven't even had a chance to get my feeder rod out. That's how quickly I caught that first sleeper. And it looks like the sleepers are out because I'm noticing my float staying down, although that looks like a bleak. Usually bleak will just pull it down and let it go. They won't hang on to it. Sleepers tend to pull it down and hang on to it. So I've got the 24 hook on the red rod here, rod number 1. I've got a 22 on rod number 2 right now. And then I put a 20 on the feeder rod, just setting that up for rough here. It's still a little bit early for rough fishing, but we'll go ahead and get set up, although we got 3 of the 5 bleak we need so far. It's actually before noon on Sunday, October 9th right now, so I've got a couple of things going on this evening. Ooh, nice fish. Nice little gibble. So I wanted to get this done a little bit early today. I have not even looked at mosquito or anything like that. Just logged into Winding, saw the bleak order, saw it was a little bit late and wanted to go get it. I didn't even look to see when it expired, to be honest. There's 4 or 5. Missed a bite on rod 2 while I was recasting rod 1 there. So today's goals is to get up to level 20% of bait harvesting. We're pretty close to that. Like I said, I think we're 19.3. We're up to 19.5 now. So just another 5%. That will unlock pearl barley, which will be helpful for many reasons. It's a good roach bait at Mosquito and at here, mainly at Oldberg. It is a great bream bait, and we'll be going after bream quite a bit. So definitely something you want to get before you go to Berg, whether you're float fishing or feeder fishing. And I think that's number 5 of the bleak. 1, 2. That's actually number 6. So we've got 5 non-markers and 1 marker bleak already. So that's About 3 hours or about an hour and a half, we've already caught that many fish. We've already caught 7 fish. I will definitely take it. Another bleak. And even the non-marker bleak are worth decent experience. You saw that one was 84 experience points for that one small non-marker bleak. Whereas the gibble, I think, was worth 30. Yeah, 88-gram crucian, 7 experience points. Oh, I can't believe I missed that. It was pretty warm out today. It was 23 degrees Celsius here. So I did go at a 30 depth instead of my usual 17 for bleak, just because I figured they'd be a little bit lower. And so far, I have been correct. When it gets dark out, I'll go turn in the bleak order and let the feeder rod fish for rough. We only needed, if I remember correctly, 2 rough. I did not lock the bail there, so that's something I got to keep in mind. I just saw the bite and didn't want to miss it, so. And you can press Y as in Yankee, just like you would to reel it in to lock the bail. After it's already on the ground. And what do we have on here now? Decent gibble. Yep, that one was okay. I just didn't see the float. Ooh, trophy bleak. That was unexpected. So 117-gram bleak. That did qualify for trophy fish and telescopic rods. 950 experience points. That was a surprise. So we will definitely keep that bad boy. Curious how much that trophy bleak's worth. First rough. I think it was a bigger rough order as well too. I think it was 40 grams rather than 20. So that trophy bleak was on a size 22 hook with bloodworms. Another decent one. That was a roach. That's why. Need to turn my flashlight on. Decent crucian. Another decent bleak. I should probably switch the float rods over for rough as well too, but we're still catching bleak, so don't really want to stop yet. I do need to get my food up. I notice it's pretty low. Probably shouldn't have dug for worms there with how low my food was, but want to get bait harvesting up as quickly as I can. I'm going to pick... Oh, there's a fish on there. Little small bleak. I'm going to pick my 2 feeder rods up and catch 2 small fish on it that I didn't know were on either of those 2 float rods. I think I just called them feeder rods, the 2 float rods. And I'm going to go turn in that bleak order because I don't remember how long was left on it. And I'm also curious how much that trophy bleak is worth. I'm going to guess double-digit silver for that 1 trophy bleak. We'll see. I can hear my bells jingling off in the distance. And I left something running that I shouldn't have. 1 second. All right. Stop those sounds in the background there. Not that big of a deal, but I'd rather not have them. I'd left my email client running. Ooh, there was a sleeper order as well, too, that I didn't expect. So 5 bleak, 11 hours, so I am glad I came back. So we'll sell the 5 smallest. There's 16 silver there. We only got one of the 2 sleepers we need at 84, so I may keep going after that. 4 decent gibbles. 2 small. So it is 2 at 20, and we got plenty of time there. Good. We could go after some roach as well, too, but I'm very curious how much that trophy bleak is worth. That trophy bleak is worth right at 10 silver. So we are back over being able to afford the second starter plus float kit, which was kind of my goal today, was to be back in that range. It is close enough to midnight, and since it is the 2 small rough order, I'm gonna hang out over here. I did want to buy some more bread. It's workshop. This is the grocer. I did want to buy some more bread to make wet bread from, because we're a little bit low. We had something like 200 wet bread. We got 1,440 potatoes right now. Yeah. I don't like my bells jingling that much. We can get back here easily. I was going to stay here till after midnight to grab the free food, but I got my food back up. Just drinking tea and eating the thermoses. I'm gonna have to go back and get a screenshot of that trophy bleak for the thumbnail. So that again is one of the good parts about using bottom rods or feeder rods is you can walk away. Random bleak. You can walk away and the fish will still most likely be on the rods. Yes, you can lose it, but you have to be careful, especially if you catch bigger fish because they can pull all the line out of the reel, that type of thing. But with what we're fishing for, where we are, very unlikely for that to happen. So I am going to go ahead and put red worm on that one. See if we can't get a double trophy. Get a trophy rough as well. Probably should put bloodworms on actually rod 1 or switch the 24 hook over to my feeder rod, which is what I might actually do. And then put bloodworms on it. Or not bloodworms, redworms. Another decent gibble. And I am going to go ahead and switch this over to have the small hook on it. After I maybe catch a fish here. White bream. All right, so we'll take, I don't have an extra 20. We'll take the 24 off this. We'll switch over to the feeder rod. Take the 20. I did have a 20. I'm just blind. Off the feeder rod. Put the 24 on. Put bloodworms on. Pick this back up. Put the 20 on it. And we'll go back to worms. So close. So close. Next thing we unlock with float fishing is fishing with a bolognese rod at 30%. So we still have a little ways to go there. If we get this second rough, I may try and go after roaches and crucians. Or gibbles and crucians, actually, for the order there. Nice gibble. Don't like that white float in the big pool of line. It's hard to see. Small gibble. I don't even think that qualified for the order. And unfortunately, that was on red worm as well too, which are the expensive worms. 19.7. Another small gibble on red worm. Halfway to level 12 as well on experience. I don't think we'll get to level 12 on this episode. That'll probably be next episode, and then we may go over to Berg. Do a little bream or white bream fishing over there. Especially float fishing. White bream fishing can be fun and lucrative. I am going to switch this over to worm. Just not getting the bite rate I want on rough. It's still early, but I'd rather knock it out. And plus, so far I've only been catching small gibbles on bloodworm, which isn't worth it from a silver perspective. 19.9. So honestly, making the bread may get us up to 20. It's a decent gibble for a 24 hook. This last percent always seems like it takes forever compared to the previous 20. Just because you're so close. And it weights the bait you're making based on kind of the level you're at. So, where early on we were getting percentage points every time we made bread, we've almost made 10 sets of bread here and not gotten any percentage upgrade. This is number 10. Didn't get it. Also haven't gotten the last rough, although it's still early. But it's possible they moved from this spot as well too. And there's level 20% on bait harvesting. So we have unlocked a couple new things. We've unlocked oatmeal porridge and pearl barley. So pearl barley is definitely a good thing. Sweet dough will be good for fishing, crucians and gibbles. Wheat grain, I don't use wheat grain much. Probably should more. And then semolina is another good one that I want to work towards. Small sleeper. But I would say my goals for the day have been met. I wanted to get enough to get the second starter plus float kit, so get another one of these. And I actually looked at, we don't need everything that's in the starter plus kit, but it is, the rod itself is more expensive than the starter plus kit is. So it just makes sense to get the Starter Plus kit. Is there a fish on? No, I'm hung on the bottom. That's why that wasn't doing anything. We will still be definitely digging for worms. We'll still get percentage points. It's still free bait. And we'll get red worms out of it as well too. Later on you can buy shovels for night crawlers and algae and things like that too. So that will probably never be something we're not doing. I just may not be focusing on it as much. Although getting to semolina and garlic dough at 35% is another good one. Sometimes bream are on garlic dough over pearl barley. But I will probably buy some pearl barley today to show you how to make it. It's another fun one where if you fail, I don't know how you fail because you basically just pour it out of a bag into a container. So I guess you drop the bag and then don't pick up the pieces. Another small gibble there. Not what we're looking for. We're looking for a rough. And only need one more rough, right? To get two. Yep. It's interesting that bloodworms or redworms is doing nothing to the rough here. I'm guessing this is another gibble. It might be a white bream. When the float did the typical bream, white bream push up, that's what gave me the thought. All right, I'm going to switch over to worm on this just to give us. Seems like the rough have been biting better on worm. And again, I need one more rough for that rough order. And would love to get that today. Another white bream over here, probably. Didn't look like it. It was just a really, really small one. That's annoying there. Decent little sleeper. And honestly, the bite rate's been pretty decent today. We started about 1700. We've already sold 6 fish, so that's 46 fish in 12 hours. There's our second rough, if it'll ever get in my net, because, of course, saw the bite over here on this one. So let's go get some pearl barley and let's go after roaches. And see what else. May do roach and Crucian gibble. Dig some worms, get some more bait harvesting levels. So 2 rough for 1160. I'm actually curious what those 2 rough are worth. So 8 extra silver, selling them to the cafe. So there's not a roach order. There is a Crucian gibble and sleeper. Oh, we've got the sleeper order. And we were just barely over the size of those. So we got the gibble order as well. We may go over to mosquito. Just need one more Crucian, and that's worth it. That'll be easy to get. So let's grab food. And then to show you what I'm talking about, if you look at the starter plus float kit, it's 149 silver. It comes with a walrus stick WS20. Again, we want to upgrade the line. We don't really need the float, although I won't say no to the float. We don't really need the hook, although I won't say no to the hook. And we don't really need the hook, the sinker kit. But if you go look at telescopic rods, walrus stick, this is the one it comes with. It's 168 just for the walrus stick. And then you have to go by line, which is another 4. So there's 172 silver. So the starter plus kit is definitely worth it if you're wanting a little bit bigger rods. So leaves us with 28 silver. Not bad. I am going to go over here and buy some pearl barley. 20.4. So you buy pearl barley from the grocery store. You can get 10 portions, which will give you, if you're successful on all of them, 300 sections of bait. So you just press in as in November, pearl barley, make, and it looks like I was successful just because that popped up. So we got 31 there using 1 portion, another 31. Another 31. I wouldn't mind getting to sweet dough, but we don't have enough silver to get up to 25% here. Probably 22.5 would be my guess. 22.4. So let's go try and get one more carp, one more crucian over in the pond so that we can turn in that order here, and it needs to be 350. We could go for perch if we wanted to spin fish, but I'm not really in the mood to spin fish yet. I've been playing around. I mentioned this in the last episode. I've been playing around on another account with doing some spin fishing here and teaching myself how to be successful spin fishing here. And I've thought about starting up a account similar to this one, except instead of being focused on float fishing, being focused on spin fishing. Um, the one thing I've noticed is the bite rate is insanely low until you're able to use a leader, which comes at level 8. We haven't really used leaders on float fishing. I just don't see the point. If you're going to get to that stage, you might as well just use straight fluorocarbon line, which sooner or later we will be using fluorocarbon line on our float fishing rods. But right now, with what we're typically going after, it just doesn't make sense. And also using a size 24 hook doesn't make sense. Or size 20. We'll put a 16 on the small rod with wet bread. We'll put a 14, put a 12 actually on this rod. I could unpack my other walrus stick. With what we're going after, it doesn't really help or hurt in any way, shape, or form. And then we'll put a 12. I'm going to leave this one on worm. And an 8 clip. Something's on rod 2. Decent fish. 1.2 kilogram common carp. I have this still way too deep. Bring it down to just about 70. Nice gibble. Another gibble. Not really what I'm aiming for. I'm wanting crucian, but I won't say no to marker gibbles. Marker roach. Nope, I just didn't see the float. So I don't think I've showed this spot off. We're just right at the tip of the little pond. We're usually fishing for rough right over there in Bleak. This spot has been good to me for crucians, gibbles, roaches, sleepers. Another gibble here probably on rod 1. Might be a roach, but I think it's a gibble. Or a just short 350. Just short. 330 gram crucian. Decent gibble here. And yes, I know there's a fish on our bottom rod. With the bite rate right now on the floats. I don't want to miss one. Ooh, what do we have here? This might be a big common. Or a big tench. We're going to be catching common and tench. I almost do want to pull out my other walrus stick. Although the line isn't any bigger than the line on the red rod there. And that's really the next thing I'll be looking into is upgrading the line, either going with some bigger monofilament, or maybe we got a good fish on the bottom rod. So what I'm doing here is I don't want this fish to get out into the actual river side if I can. So I'm trying to get in front of it and chase it back into the pond rather than getting out into the river. So somewhat instinctively, the fish is going to try and go away from us. It's probably a big common would be my guess. Maybe a grass carp. And if you can trap them here in the pond, you just gotta kind of fight them until you wear it out. Or until the hook slips. But we got a pretty decent hook on here. I don't want to go too much higher with my friction brake. I could, but we're already putting quite a bit of strain on the rod, the reel, the line. And if it does a quick sprint, it could pull a little bit harder, which I don't really want it to do. I should probably look at what line is on this rod and what the reel and the rod is capable of. This is just what comes in the kit, and sometimes it's undersized. I honestly don't know. I thought I was wearing it out. This is where it is definitely handy having food on a number key so you're not having to press T and potentially let slack get in the line. So if you notice there, my energy's gone down quite a bit. Basically, what's going on here is it's a fight to see who tires out first, me or the fish. And my food had gotten low, so my energy wasn't regaining like it should. Now I got my food back up, my comfort's up, so my energy's regaining. This is didn't want to do that there. My hand slipped. This is definitely a good fish though. I do not want to I do not want to lose this fish. This is either trophy crucian, trophy gibble, or most likely a 5 to 6 kilo common or grass carp. I don't know if they're grass carp at Winding, honestly. So fighting the fish like this will slowly wear out your mechanism in your reel and your friction brake. And basically, as your friction brake and mechanism wear out, the reel is not capable of pulling out as much or pulling as much weight. You can repair those. It just takes silver and in-game time. There might be catfish at winding. This could be a catfish as well. But usually those just lay on the ground and don't swim around. This fish definitely has some good energy. If I can pull it above water, I've got it beat. There we go. Got a little glimpse of it. I couldn't quite tell what it is, other than it's a big boy. Kind of wish I had the longer net. It's a big common. Wow. 6.9 kilo common carp. 2,700 experience points. That was a nice fish. And out of curiosity, you click this, you can see. So my mechanism, mech is 1% worn out, 3% on the friction brake. So what that means is this reel by default has a 5.5, or with the upgrades we put on it, has a 5.5 kilo friction brake. With 3% of that worn off, it's 3% less than that 5.5%. So still pretty decent. Definitely did a little bit of wear on the line guards there too, just because of how strong that fish was. Because keep in mind, this rod is weighted for a load capacity of 6 kilograms. That's why I couldn't pick it up out of the water. Really, I had to drag it up on shore. Was the rod and the reel really didn't have enough power to pick that fish up. You could lock your friction brake, but then you risk breaking the mechanism in your reel or breaking your rod, and you don't want to do either of those. So I'm going to reset both of these. I should not have left them both in the water like I did, but I did. And that was a nice fish. I'm actually curious how long that took me to reel in. I'm going to have to watch the video. But you could tell at the end there, the fish, I'll use the term died. It didn't really die, but it just wore itself out, so it couldn't fight anymore. Um, about halfway through, I got to the stage where I was only pulling in when it was letting me, and that seemed to wear it out a little bit quicker, or at least wear out its will to fight. I'm still looking for one more 350-gram crucian here if I can. I should probably put the bottom rod back in the water. But we're also coming up on what should be the end of the episode here, because we started right around now, maybe a little bit later. And there might be our 350-gram crucian. There it is. So I think that's going to be a good wrapping up point. I'm not going to put the rods back in the water. So let's go turn in the 350-gram crucian order. And especially with the rain here, that's going to wear out our food and comfort quite a bit. Today was a good episode. Definitely made a good amount of silver. We got our second walrus stick, even though we haven't unpacked it yet. We got our bait harvesting up to 20%, so we were able to get pearl barley, and we made some of that. And then thanks to that random 6.9 kilo common carp, we got a little over 3/4 of the way to level 12. So we'll sell the second one here for 6 silver. And then let's go look at the fish market. So as far as by price, that common carp is worth 11. So we had 2 fish that were over double digits. We also caught a trophy bleak today. That 1 kilo tench was worth 5. So another 35 silver. So up to 53 silver overall. Definitely a good day. Definitely very happy with how today turned out. So appreciate you all watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with another edition here and see what we can get. Probably go over to Mosquito, but we'll just depend on what's available tomorrow. So have a good one, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks.